Recently, to study for this class, I've been playing a game called Shogun Total War. Hailed by GameSpot as one of the best games of this year, Shogun Total War recreates the Sengoku era by allowing me to play as one of the 10 daimyo in a race to unify Japan. But as an astute student of this class, I have been asking myself the question, Dear Sega, where are the lady samurai? This erasure of history is troubling, and unfortunately we cannot just blame it on whoever did historical research for this game. The dominant historical narrative about the Sengoku period is that it was a period of violence, dynastic change, and institution formation. The effect of these supposedly masculine activities led to a systematic disempowerment of women who exercise power in non-violent and sometimes pagan ways. For example, as spirit possessors or as wet nurses and mothers. As Professor Kitagawa argues, this conventional wisdom is mistaken. Women in the samurai social class, lady samurai, could and did hold power during the Sengoku period, as landowners, as letter writers, and administrators. For Professor Kitagawa, everything begins with the study of letters. The Western notion of a letter is something private, even introspective. Consider representative examples from Frankenstein. But in Japan, they were the opposite. Letters were large, public, shared. We tend to see signatures as a personal touch, especially in an era with typewriting. But in Japan, instead of signatures, there were stamps. And instead of a personal touch, stamps had a public function. They signified official approval. As it turns out, women wrote letters too, and not just personal letters either, but letters with stamps, promissory notes, blood oaths, and letters to certify ownership of property. The primary evidence we have comes from the letters of Nei, the first wife of Hideyoshi. From Nei's letters we find that she and her female servants signed blood oaths on Buddhist prayer paper. Based on this fact, we question to what extent Buddhist notions of blood pollution really permeated the daily lives of women. These women's blood were not seen as impure, and in fact served an official function. We also find that Nei owned large quantities of land, and she managed affairs while Hideyoshi was away. Indeed, she owned more land than many daimyo. Furthermore, when Christian friars wanted to appeal to Hideyoshi, they tried her first, knowing the strength of their married relationship. But Nei is not just an anomaly. Many other samurai wives also managed their husbands' estates while they were away at war. Professor Kitagawa calls this the Golden Rule. If I understand correctly, I think what Professor Kitagawa is criticizing is our mental conception of power. Maybe we are too used to thinking that women are disempowered, and we are ignoring the obvious fact that they were not, in this specific time period, in this specific social class. While I may not be qualified enough to evaluate the evidence for paired ruling, I support this approach to studying the history of the Sengoku period. As one might have learned in statistics, a different perspective may uncover many new dimensions.